everyone. Welcome to the Felicity, Optimist versus Cynic podcast with us, your hosts, Melissa and Fish. This is a Felicity rewatch podcast. We'll watch an episode each week and join you here to talk about it. And, a reminder, there could be some things we talk about as we cover this episode that come up in future episodes of the show because, hey, this isn't a spoiler-free podcast. Not spoiler-free. All right, I am Melissa, and I'm here with my unambiguous co-host, Fish. Fish, how are you doing today?
Oh, I wish you hadn't chosen that word. I'm actually going to substitute confused. I'm your confused co-host, Fish, and I may be ambiguous because of the confusion, but we're going to work through it, and yeah, we'll see where we end up.
You're confused because of this episode?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
I mean, just generally in life as well, but like in particular at this moment.
Well, I wanted to get clear about what your confusion was about so that we could be unambiguous.
I see. I am unambiguously confused in particular about who Ben is. Who is he? I don't know who he is anymore.
That's interesting. Okay, well, you know what? Let's find out. Let's dive into this. Let's see what's going on here. All right. What are we talking about today? We're talking about season 3, episode 10, which unambiguously might be called Let's Get It On, or could be called Final Touches. But I think most of what we're seeing says Let's Get It On.
Yeah, I saw Let's Get It On, which I thought was going to be fighting, but turns out was more about loving.
Yes,
but also could have been about fighting. We're not sure.
Who's to say?
It's a bit ambiguous.
Oh my gosh. So this it originally aired December 6th, 2000, directed by Lawrence Trilling and written by Terry Trace and Michael Zand. And here's the episode description. In the next 3 days, Felicity must prepare for a final for a class she thought she dropped and help Noel complete an extensive computer project. Meanwhile, Molly apologizes to Felicity and Ben for yelling at them when she moved out, but James, Eddie Cahill, scolds her when he sees the group talking. Tracy and Elena decide to renew their friendship.
Well, I don't think that hits most of the things that happen. Okay. The first point, yes.
Great. Well, that's a rough draft, that's just a start. Yeah. And our podcast is going to be the real episode description.
Yeah.
So, Fish, where do you want to start? Sounds like you have some bones to pick here.
Yeah, I mean, there will be a number as we go, but maybe you can help me through it. I say we just go in order because that's what we've been doing.
That's what we've been doing. We're staying consistent, folks.
Yeah.
Well, so Felicity is going to step off of the elevator in her apartment complex, and she's reading a letter. She's confused. She's alarmed.
Mm-hmm. She's got a great red sweater on.
Okay.
But yeah, she's reading this letter and she goes to knock on, she goes back down the elevator immediately to go knock on Professor Boyden. Is that his name? Boyden's door. And this whole scene is just like academic bureaucracy at its finest.
Did you ever see a scenario like this actually happen in real life? Or do you know of it happening?
I have never seen it happen. I don't know of it happening. What I will tell you is, to this day, I still have nightmares about this happening to me. In particular around art history. I don't know why. I never even took an art history course in college.
Or did you?
Maybe I didn't. Maybe I did. But I have this recurring nightmare about like it getting to the final, and I've never been to the class, and I'm not allowed to drop it, and I don't know what's going on, and I'm like running around a museum. I'm telling you, this is the stuff of nightmares.
I guess so, but is it the stuff of reality? Because I can appreciate school nightmares. I have them too, slightly different in breed, but I get it. But how would you get all the way through a semester? I
and
don't
not know you're
understand how she'd
taking a
be getting this
class.
letter. Like, why would they send her this letter?
So so what
Like, what's
let's
happening?
establish
What's
happened
happening here,
here.
you might ask?
Yeah.
So her letter was a note from the registrar saying that she didn't drop the intro to Western thought class that she thought she did. Why would the registrar be sending her this letter?
Yeah, how would they know that she even wanted to drop it?
Yeah,
But I don't know. Maybe it's a letter that says like you're failing the class.
I guess.
Um, I I'm a little confused. But basically, she goes into this professor's office to say, "Hey, I dropped your class, but then I got this letter saying I'm still in your class. I took this other class instead. Um, so, just want to sort this out."
Yeah.
And
And
of
the
course, the
professor is
first thing,
very, very understanding. He's like, yeah, you're in the class and you're going to fail it.
yeah, he's not the best
Doesn't have a
because,
great bedside manner here.
yeah, Felicity says, this is a nightmare. Like, what can I do? And he's just like, I don't know.
No, pretty much nothing. Yeah.
Like, quote, I don't know. Like
Yeah.
that was his actual line.
Yeah.
And of course I'm thinking, like, who mailed it? Did you mail it, Felicity? Did you go in? I mean, I was just like, please tell me you do not give this to Ben.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, before she walks out of this room, she comes up with it. She's like, all right, all right, all right. Okay, well, what do I do? How much does the final count for? He's like 50% of the grade. She's like, so if I get an A on the final, I pass the class. And he's like, that's ridiculous.
yeah. He's like, absolutely not, or pretty much not likely. He just kind of laughs at her.
Yeah.
And at this point I wrote down challenge accepted question mark.
What's
I
the
mean,
other option here? I
well, she
mean,
keeps saying, "Look, I'm sure this is a mistake. I just have to go talk to the registrar. Like I'm sure it's a mistake, whatever." But we never see her go talk to anyone else about this, like anyone official. I
yeah,
mean, I do figure at the prestigious New York University, or is it University of New York?
University
And
of New
like
York.
University of New York.
Hmm.
Um, like somebody with a brain must work there who can say, like, yeah, clearly you took this other class and something got lost in the mail. That does happen. um so we'll make an exception, because we had the same thing where he says it's December, it's too late to drop classes. There was a thing where there's a cutoff date to drop classes, which is
Hmm.
why I still have nightmares about it. um because I feel like there aren't that many people with brains in bureaucracy. They
Hmm.
just, or they have them but they don't care, or like they feel like there's nothing they can do. um and I feel this is wrong. I'm just saying, people with brains, use them, pretty please.
I totally appreciate your uh raging at the machine.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Mhm.
appreciate that.
I'd like to do that.
I also can't even imagine this situation happening in real, like, listeners,
I
is
can.
this
I can
real?
totally imagine this happening. I have nightmares about it happening.
I know you have nightmares about it, but I like, does this actually happen?
I
Do
don't
people get
know.
all the way through a semester not noticing that they're still registered for a class? I
Probably not now, because you get emails about the syllabus and all that
We
kind
did
of
then
stuff.
too.
They sent her a paper letter in the mail saying that she still had the class. I have a feeling that, like, early 2000s, it like was not that connected. Like, I feel like this could have happened.
I don't know. I mean, we were basically in school at this time, and we I was submitting assignments by email.
Sometimes I had to print it out and walk it over. It all depended on the professor, whether
Yeah.
the professor was tech literate or not.
Yeah. Yeah, but then like every student had an email address provided by the university. And like for something like this, I think that we even had an online portal where you could look up students, you could look up
And
their
your grade,
majors, you
you'd
could
look
look
up your
up,
grades and stuff. Yeah.
yeah. How did Felicity, why was Felicity, first of all, why was Felicity so out to lunch that she didn't know that she was registered for a class that she wasn't taking? And second of all, why would the registrar send her this letter?
I'm guessing the registrar sent it because they said you are failing because you've missed.
But how would they know?
Like, well, because the professor has to turn in the grades, I think.
But
Probably it.
I thought they only do that at the very end of the semester
I don't know. I
with your
don't know
final
how
grade.
this all got sort of checked out, but like
Exactly.
when we looked at our grades, we only got to look at our final grades. We
Hmm.
couldn't, at least I don't remember being able to log into the portal and like see the midterm. I had to
Right.
go into class.
Right. Same here. That's what I remember too. I think if you wanted to know how you were doing on like quizzes and stuff and midterms, you would basically just be like, I don't know, you got that information directly from the professor.
Hmm.
It was posted somewhere, but not like through an official portal because that would be
Yeah.
like unrealistic for a university to maintain that.
I do,
Um,
however, think they could have had something where if someone has never shown up, that the professor has to like send something to the registrar saying like maybe something's wrong. This person has never shown up.
could be, but
But you'd think it
then
would happen
if you're
before
going to do
December.
that, have it be a time when there can still be some sort of a thing done about it.
Yeah.
You
As
know,
I
it's like,
said, bureaucracy at its finest.
yeah,
This is a real life example of this. However, I did have a friend in college who took like graduate level physics. I think was it freshman, maybe sophomore year, and he only went to 3 classes and he aced it.
yeah. A
So,
lot of people don't show up at classes, and in
yeah,
large lecture classes, the professor doesn't take attendance.
no,
They
no,
wouldn't even know if you're there. They don't even know who's in their class.
no. But maybe one of the TAs could like filter through and be like, guess what? We have no test scores.
I guess so.
Also, who has a quiz in college? How is that a thing?
Yeah, I feel like I had some quizzes.
Really? I
Yeah,
feel like that wasn't a thing for me.
yeah. I don't
Hmm.
know. Teachers can do whatever they
Anyway,
want. But
the
so
point
basically, guys,
is,
look, here's the thing. They're trying to set up a premise for the rest of this episode, a premise that I fundamentally dispute. But hey, uh it's fine. That's what this show is about today. So
and I
Felicity
would say
now has,
there are a number of things in this episode that I would fundamentally dispute, and we will go through them.
yeah. So Felicity is now on a tear and she's going to go find Megan in the bathroom of their apartment.
Yeah.
And she is angry. She's like, did you send in the form, the letter where I tried to drop this class?" And
Right. And she
Megan,
can't even wait for Megan to get out of the shower. Megan
no.
is showering, and Felicity just walks right into the bathroom.
Yeah, well, she's
And
on a mission.
yeah, I mean, nobody locks doors.
That's how
So
it
walks
works.
right into the bathroom
Hmm.
and is just yelling at Megan.
Who is,
And
taken aback because she's like, of course I
she's
mailed.
like,
I mean, I had all kinds of things to mail that day, including my subscription to Wiccan Press Monthly. And so,
that's
of
right.
course, and Felicity's like, stop it with the details. Did you or did you not mail this?
Well, I love how um in the shower, Megan is like, you still see me as an irresponsible Wiccan. And I'm like, why is your religion coming into this?
Mm-hmm.
And I also enjoyed the nod of the show. This is the first time I've heard this, that she gave 2 things to Megan to mail. One was her class drop form.
Mm-hmm.
The second was a letter to Sally.
Ah,
So their correspondence has continued, maybe. We don't know if Sally has ever written back,
That
because,
just
she's dead.
re-traumatized me. Thanks for bringing up that. Like I was feeling complete and whole, not having the partial one-way communication to Sally.
Well, we don't
And
know. Sally might write back. This is the first
who's
time
to
we've heard
say?
of it.
Who's to say?
Um, but
Um,
yeah, Meghan comes out in this fantastic towel, just all leopard printed up,
mhm.
and says, "Look, I put it in this drawer. It's right here. I would have put it right here." And she opens the drawer. She's like, "Oops,
It's still in
sorry."
there. Yeah. So it turns out all the things that were meant to be mailed that day are still in the drawer. That was, I guess, supposed to be the holding place before Meghan brings those things to the mail, but they didn't get brought to the mail.
Yeah, and Felicity's mad, and Meghan's just like, "I said sorry," which is a step forward for Meghan.
That's true.
I feel like she has grown, and this episode really shows many of the ways in which she has grown.
Yeah. So
Mailing things is not one of them.
I guess so, right? So in one of the this is convenient sort of things that happens in this episode. So now Ben and Felicity are having a conversation. She's complaining about the whole situation with the non-dropped class, and Ben's like, "Oh, you're not going to fail that. That's the class I took. That I was basically forced to take by Pavone, the one where Noel was helping him TA, the one where they had the study session that resulted in throwing a beer can at Noel's head." And so that's the class. And Ben's like, "Don't worry, you're not going to fail that." And Molly arrives.
Well,
Oh.
Felicity, at least she gives us the time frame here. She's like, "I have 3 days
Mm-hmm.
to learn the entire the history of Western thought.
Mm-hmm.
3 days,
Yeah.
and I have all this stuff to do with Noel. I've got this big meeting, and I'm still going to do it. It's fine." She says she's going to go to the registrar again and figure it out, which she doesn't. But she's got a lot on her plate.
Yeah.
And one thing that I'm going to follow throughout this episode is that Ben does not go into fix it mode. He doesn't go into the hero complex thing when it's Felicity. And I feel like this is generally true for him around her for the most part.
Hmm.
Um, he's going to take on the hero mantle. It's just not going to be for Felicity, which I find very interesting.
Okay.
Uh, Enter Molly.
Yeah. Enter Molly. It's awkward right now. Molly's showing up. She's just really there to get her stuff, but it's a little sour in these relationships here because they've kicked her out.
I
And
mean, sort of.
well, they were like, "It's your choice. Get better or leave." And she's like, "I'm leaving."
Yeah.
Um, so
But they both
so it's
say they
weird.
didn't want her to leave now.
Yeah.
And all I can focus on is her hair. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it didn't look so bad last episode, but now this whole episode, it's just a
So you're
mess.
saying that this is not a promotion for James, the hairdresser?
This is like the worst thing he did to her. I think this is
Like on
possibly
the top of the list of
the
grievances against
worst.
James. And they're really trying. They're trying to
Yeah,
pile up some serious grievances here, but you're
this
top of the
is the
list.
worst.
This haircut. Okay.
Yes.
Well, yeah. I
A-
mean,
And
and
they're
your
all
point is,
sadness. They're all wearing gray.
yeah. I think your point is very true here, Felicity's just saying, we didn't want you to leave. We just wanted you to get help, and Molly's basically saying, mind your own business.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Don't
out
worry
now.
about
It's not your
me.
business
I'm,
anymore.
yep. Mm, don't want to hear it.
Yeah. So there's that. Um, let's switch over to another really awkward situation. So we've got Sean and Meghan. They're
I'm
in the
kind
loft
of
of the loft.
I'm kind of loving them this episode. I
Hmm.
mean, they brought me joy in this
Yeah.
episode.
I think that's generally the plan for those two characters. They offer levity in many situations, even though this is one of the more serious things they've encountered, I would say.
I mean, they did just deal with cancer.
But this is still a byproduct of that to me. Like I think this
Yeah.
is a very natural. I think that this is like a very this would happen. You know, like
Oh yeah.
this would be something you'd really go through. And I think they're making light of it here to a degree, but I also think that this is part of the aftermath of his health issue. And just like the what does how do you get back to whatever normal is after that? Um,
Yep.
and so basically they're in bed and Meghan's in the middle of sort of trying to console Sean. She's like, you know, we can try again. It's and Sean's just sort of sitting up in bed and he's upset. He's rattled. He obviously could not perform, and he's ashamed about that. And Meghan's trying to reassure him, and she's being gentle about it.
She's being very sensitive, you
Yeah,
know? I mean, this is a new this is the maybe I don't know, uh the new and old Meghan integrating, I guess, throughout this
sort of.
episode.
Yeah, like he gives us a time frame here, which I think is useful. He's like, you know, it's been 4 weeks, and she says, well, it needs more time. Like
Yeah.
that's it. 4 weeks
And
isn't enough yet. You
she's
know, it's like just more time is required.
yeah, and she's very nice about it. She's got beautiful crimped hair, which I love. And they come down the stairs. She's wearing his shirt, you know, they're sitting on the couch together, just continuing, you know, she's just continuing to be, um, I don't know, a good partner. And again, the bane of this entire series' existence comes into play. Locks on doors.
Mm-hmm.
There are again no locks
Yeah.
on any doors. And so in busts
Richard.
President Richard.
Yeah. He's working on a fundraiser idea. The coffers are running low. He's still president. So he's like, I've got an idea. I want to create a calendar of hot women,
Yes. And
women
Meghan's
students.
like, you're an idiot. You
Yeah.
can't do that. You need two calendars, one for men and one for women.
Mm-hmm. She offers
Duh.
to pick the guys.
And Richard's like,
And
huh. I mean, I can't pick the guys since I'm still not gay, looking right at
yeah.
Meghan. And you can't pick the guys because what do you know about guys being cute? At which point Sean's like, get out.
Yeah, Sean's this is a little too raw right now for Sean. So, well, we've
Yeah.
set up a whole bunch of things here.
They're going to call out Richard. Meghan's going to call out Richard for being insensitive, which is, you know, pot, here's kettle.
Yeah.
Um, and then one of my favorite moments happens. Richard watches them go back up to the loft and says, "Can I come up?" And then someone hits him right in the face with a giant pillow, like threw it from the loft.
Mm-hmm.
And my question is, who was it? Was it Sean or Meghan? Sean or Meghan? Or was it a couple's
Hmm.
goal achieved?
I think it was Meghan.
I agree. I think it was
Yeah,
Meghan. But it was a large pillow.
it sure was. Yeah. So, all right, we're heading over to Icebox, the Icebox office. And so I'm trying to remember. I wrote this guy's name down later, but I
Professor
don't.
Morris, is it Morrison?
That
Morris?
sounds right. So
But I
that
call
guy.
him the guy from 30 Rock.
Okay, that
Yeah,
seems fair. If you've seen
he's
30
that guy
Rock, that
from
makes
30
sense.
Rock. It's amazing. I love him.
Okay. So that professor of Noel's is in the Icebox office, and he's sort of just like giving them the rundown. He's showing them around the office. He's saying, you know, your comic is it's cuter than most of our stuff. Like, have you seen Queer Duck?
Yeah.
I feel like Queer Duck would be really cute. I don't know.
He says it's really offensive, and I can also see it being really offensive.
Okay, that's fair. So he's still a go-between here. He's trying to get their project across the line, which requires a guy named John at Icebox to sign off on it. So he sets up the tension of this part of the episode, which is there's one slot for production that's left. There are two other ideas in addition to their own that are competing for that slot. those two ideas are presenting on Friday, which I guess is a few days away. And so if they want to be considered, they're going to have to be ready to go at the same time for presentation. And what does that involve, Fish?
That involves, what they have with the actual animations, and also a summary of the next 20 episodes.
2 to 3 paragraphs. I
Yeah.
It feels like a lot. I guess it was animation, right? It wasn't a comic strip. So I guess you need a whole story. I don't know how long these slots really were.
But you also had to have 20 separate funny ideas
Yeah.
for episodes.
So I guess, I think he was saying that they released them in batches of 21.
I
Um,
have one.
yeah.
Now within, I guess, Friday's like 3 days away, 2 or 3 days away, right?
Mhm.
And they're just like, this is it. You have to come up with everything so that you have to create a presentation on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. It's a lot. And Noel, this is his path. And so he's like, absolutely, yeah, we can do that for sure. And Felicity is like, oh.
Yeah, Felicity
Um,
just cannot say no.
she can't say no, but boy, are there a lot of things on her plate right now. And you can see
Yeah.
that in her face, but she's also not saying no.
I
Um,
mean, I don't know if he can see that she's a little hesitant, but he doesn't really know how many things. I mean, this is right, this is finals. This
yeah.
is the like finally episode where we usually see everybody just studying all the time and Noel going crazy with the beats. But, you know, it's understandable that Noel would think, oh, Felicity's got to study for her finals. So she's a little hesitant about this, but he does not know about the secret final that the academic bureaucracy has sprung upon her.
Yeah, and I also wonder to what degree, because this is a professor for one of his classes. So I do wonder if this project is his final for that class.
I think it is. I think the one animation is,
Yeah,
but then
but then he has to
they
do all
were
this
going to
other
take
stuff
it
on top of
and
it.
yeah, he was going to take it and run with it as more of a. I think he'd get money for it from this. I mean, Icebox sounds like
Yeah,
a
this would be a job.
animation company.
Yeah. So, all right. So we've set that up now. And we've got
Just going to
another thing to set up here.
continue to be uncomfortable.
Hmm.
Yeah. So now we have Tracy and Elena, and they're being all flirty.
Yeah, we keep seeing them interact after a class or after a test. There's a lot of those moments are bringing them together, but they're having conversations after now. So it looks like they just came back out of a quiz or a test, maybe a final. I don't know. Maybe
Could be.
could be a final.
Mhm.
So Tracy is, but they have more classes after this, so it's really hard to say. Tracy is sort of noting, okay, yeah, we're hanging out. This, Elena, is where we would normally actually hang out, and spend some time together. But this is a mess, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Elena's standing there wearing this amazing coat with this, like, I love what they did. Or at first, I thought it was earrings, but they have like this long beaded, braided, sort of red and gold, like beaded piece of her hair. And she's got this fancy bag on, and she's looking real good. And Tracy's looking at her, and she's like, you know, she obviously wants to still be with him, and he's just like, this here is a real mess. And I kind of like this moment, where Elena says, it doesn't have to be. And Tracy just looks at her and says, it's not your place to say.
Yeah.
He just kind of he
Like, I'm in the driver's seat here, lady.
well,
Um,
it's that, but it's also like these are his emotions. This is something that he has to deal with. It's she keeps trying to make it go back to normal. And he's like, I'm not there.
Yeah.
And he's so serious about it.
But
He
he's
went to,
also, yeah, like I think, yeah, there's that. And then, but he's also talking about the actions that he's taking. So he's not just sitting in that and staying
mhm,
stagnant in it. Like he says, I spoke to my minister
yep.
and she said,
Well, and here, so I am going to have quite a bit to say about Elena in this episode. I had real issues with Elena
okay.
in this episode. Um, she says, when Tracy says, I spoke to my minister about it, she immediately says, what did he say?
Mhm.
She is still completely uneducated about his religion. She's obviously never really had a conversation with him
Mhm.
about, that would involve a talk about his minister or what he would talk to his minister about, or, you know, still the importance of it. I feel like she continues to ignore and belittle his religion unless it's to her advantage or her, like, something she wants to say.
Okay.
So I think it's really important that he looks her in the eye and says, she, referring to his minister,
Mhm.
kind of making that point of, hey, like you're still not, you know,
Hearing this.
you're not hearing it, you're not asking about it, like you're not taking this seriously.
Mhm.
The whole religion thing that's so important to me, who you want to be a partner with.
Mhm.
Um, but what it comes
Yeah.
down to is she basically says he needs to decide whether or not to forgive her.
Mhm. Yeah, and let go of it all. And um yeah, I mean I don't know if that's necessarily new information, but Tracy took it as a wise thing to say, I guess. I mean, that's where they are.
Hmm.
That's accurate. I mean, I think thanks for summing up the plot, minister. Um, but yeah, for him that seemed fairly deep. And he says, I'm willing to go as far as being friends. So he says, friends, and they make it official. They have a handshake.
Handshake deal. And
Now, I would
then
like to
he
insert my note from
turns.
an optimist here.
Oh,
Fancy handshakes that are meant to break sexual tension.
that is
Tracy
so
and
specific.
Elena have more than one of these in this show. We saw one, I believe, at a pinball machine
Hmm. Hmm.
in season two. I just love that when it's all so awkward and weird between them and they have like a friends conversation, they do these handshakes that they do at no other time. And I it makes me so happy. I feel like those handshakes are in place of all the things they maybe want to do. I don't know. It's like, how can I be close to you and still be platonic? And like, how can I make this go on for as long as possible, but still be platonic? And how friends do this. So they just like do these handshakes, and we never see them do handshakes other than that. Those times when they have these like, should we be friends or should we be something more moments? It just, I don't know. I really enjoy it. I think there's like a need for contact that it fills. I think there's a need for being really overt and official to mask that they aren't really just friends.
Hmm.
It makes me so happy. I saw this and it transported me to the previous handshake scene we had seen between them. And uh,
You just love it.
I do.
We love the fancy handshakes.
That's it.
And as Elena's very good at doing the handshakes, unlike Richard, who we'll see later, who tries to do the handshake and utterly fails.
Yeah. Doesn't work out for
Um,
him.
no, no, but many things don't.
I do
Um,
think that they linger on his face for a moment after this handshake,
yes,
and
when
you
he
can
turns
see
around, he turns around to walk away, and they linger on his face.
he's grappling.
Oh, his face is like, this is killing me.
Yeah. maybe the handshake wasn't all that was really going on there.
I
Sometimes
mean,
a
he
handshake
clearly,
belies grappling.
yeah, I mean, he clearly is attracted to her,
Yeah.
and he really likes her, but he can't forgive her yet.
No.
It's not where he is,
Darn
so
it, he's trying.
he's trying. You got to give him credit.
Yeah. So we're going to see Felicity and Ben walking. We know that we're going to find out that they're walking to Epstein Bar, but right now we just see them walking, and she is recapping for him. Oh, I've got this philosophy class and the icebox thing. This is a mess. And Ben just reiterates multiple times in this episode. He's like, look, you can pass philosophy. Just drop this thing with Noel. Just drop it.
Yeah, just stop the thing with Noel. And Felicity always comes back with, you know, but it's cool. Like I want to do it. It's not just for Noel. I want to do this, but I can't do everything. I know, I know.
I'll drop it.
I'll do it.
So they're
So then they
heading to
go
this
meet Noel.
conversation, yeah, with that resolution in mind. And Felicity and Ben and Noel are all having a dinner at Epstein Bar. And Noel's just being effusive. He's like, you're saving my life, my actual whole life. I had a vision of my future where I was super successful. And it all started because we did Loser Pet Store together.
Yep. And Ben is just sitting there so unhelpful, going, that's amazing,
You can see the
dude.
look on his face for the whole scene is like, oh, really? And he's just
He's
like
just waiting.
sort of egging Felicity on a little bit.
Yeah,
But he's also not interjecting himself, which is,
he's not being
it's
helpful
not
at
his
all.
place. Yeah. So
And
Noel
Noel's
gets up.
like, hey, since you're saving my life, I'm buying. So he goes to go get a pitcher of beer. And Ben
Ben's
just
like, wow,
turns to
that's
Felicity and drops some sarcasm. It's like, yeah, way to lay down the law.
she's like, I'll tell him. I'll tell him. Uh, but
Before
they're
she
going to be
can.
interrupted. I will say, I really feel like they've gotten back on a certain track in this episode with Noel of he's just so dependent on Felicity in this episode. And, I feel like you've been seeing signs of this a lot earlier, but now with all the other women, like the Natalies and the Janes out of the picture, who's to say how out of the picture Natalie is? But anyway, with all these women out of the picture, I think we're getting back to like V1 Noel, which is sort of just needing Felicity around.
Yeah, I know you
Um,
feel like Noel has been really erratic, but I just don't feel it. The Noel that I don't buy is the Leon Noel.
okay.
Like I don't that is so out of character for him.
Mhm.
I got why it happened and I was like, okay, you went insane, but like how does Noel know where all the cool clubs and bars are and Meghan doesn't?
Mhm.
Like I don't the Leon thing for me was the outlier. The whole Jane thing, I was just like, yeah, I, it's just the same Noel who has so many insecurities and it's just coming out stronger.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, they're putting us back with this I don't know, this angle for Noel or this like what he's wrestling with in this moment. But I definitely feel like they were trying to sort of get us back at like a cleaner version of what Noel's intentions are, I guess.
Mhm.
I think, Noel won't always. I think there's going to be a point in season 4 where we're going to get a Noel that I feel is more balanced or like more
Secure?
secure. I want to say that, and then we'll see if that's actually what if my memory holds up with that. But we're certainly seeing, I guess, these different ways that his insecurity has been coming out in season 2 and season 3, and here we
Yeah.
are,
I feel
you
like he's
know.
been pretty consistent through these seasons so far. The one that is just I don't understand at all is Ben. I feel like he's all over the place and I have no idea who this
Okay.
man is.
Okay. Well, I do think, I wonder what we'll think of him in terms of Noel here, because I feel like Ben doesn't seem to be super threatened by Noel.
No.
He seems like Noel's being a pest, or like this project with Noel's a pest, drop it, but it doesn't feel like that's coming from a place of being threatened.
No, Ben's
I
got a lot going on.
feel like maybe
He's
that is
focused
a
on
sign of
Molly.
security for Felicity, or his attention is diverted to Molly. It's hard to say.
I
Um,
feel like his attention is diverted.
okay.
And I will say throughout this, I feel like Noel is starting to get more and more attached to Felicity,
Yeah.
kind of wishing they were back together. So maybe, I don't know, maybe there's a blind side coming for Ben, but he's got his focus. And I like so Molly traipses in the door
Hmm.
unsuspectingly. And I just love this outfit on her because I now want to refer to her as Little Red Riding Molly Hood. Um, because I know it's a gray like outfit, but it's got like a little hood and she's got a little red like ribbon. And I don't know. That's my new name for her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, she's going to come in and she's simmered down a bit. So she's going to apologize for her anger that she had when she stopped by the apartment. Um, she appreciates their help, but she's like, I can't walk away. You probably don't understand this, but I can't walk away. James shows up
Mm-hmm.
because he was going to meet her there. And he's like, what is going on? Oh, you're talking with your friends, your great friends who kicked you out of the apartment. And then the sarcasm quickly leaves his voice. And he's like, don't apologize to them, Molly. And you guys, you stay away from her.
Yeah. I felt like he came in hot like already. He walks in the door and he's not being sarcastic. He looks right at Molly and says, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
So yeah, he gets sarcastic with the whole friends comment. But this is part of where I'm getting confused with Ben because Ben, through this whole thing, he's sitting down and this guy is the way he's speaking to Molly, the sarcasm he has, the don't apologize to them, she doesn't need you. Ben just very quietly, very calmly says, "Please let it go." That's his
Mm-hmm.
response to this. And it throughout the whole episode, that's his vibe.
I
It's
wonder if I understand that James is very different from Ben's dad, but when you think about the physical altercations that Ben has had, I feel like they were battles he thought he could win. And I think he sees James as a real danger. And I
oh
think he
yeah.
saw his dad as a real danger. And I think he might be sort of like reverting to little boy Ben around James because he feels an actual real threat.
Well, if
Um,
he is, he's throwing Molly and Felicity to the wolves.
yeah,
I mean, I see zero protector Ben when James, you know, comes into this scene, particularly around Felicity. He is more protective of Molly, who he
yeah,
hasn't really known.
I think he is more, his tactic with James, his in this episode is more to try to diffuse
Yeah,
than to
it's
fight.
de-escalation.
Yeah.
He's scared. I mean,
I
he's
think he's
definitely
scared. And I
scared.
think he makes a comment to Felicity about like later about like, I thought I was going to pee my pants when James was in the apartment. And it was like, I
Yeah.
actually think that's real. I think,
Yeah.
no, he's really like, he was really that scared. And like, as much as Felicity's like, oh, you were so great. You were my hero. It's like, he was terrified and he was trying to, like you said, de-escalate the situation with his words.
Hmm.
I think,
Which he was good at. But it's also, I don't know, I have a very hard time reconciling the soft spoken whispering and placating Ben with the riled up, violent Ben.
mhm. Um, the last time we saw this combination of director and writers, so we saw an episode season 3 episode 4 with the same director and the same writers. That was the one with the Jello shots rating, so that would have been the one at the frat party.
Yep.
Do you see any consistency with that episode?
I do, because when he went to the frat party, kind of expected him to be cracking heads, and when he walked in and the frat
I don't think
brothers,
that was the one that was the one after. So it was the
oh
one where I think that was the one where he and Javier had the whole citizenship storyline and Felicity and the ladies went to the party. Um,
then maybe there wasn't really a similar situation.
yeah. I really do feel like in this season, we've got a bunch of new names of people coming up in some of these like major writing and directing roles. And I wonder, like, when somebody got an idea in their head about what one of these characters was, if they stayed consistent with that in their episodes, but it wasn't always consistent with the other episodes.
It could be. I mean, it would explain him kind of jumping around from personality to personality.
Because I
Um,
can absolutely make an argument for all of the things we see from him, but do they work in concert with each other? Maybe not. So I think it does make sense to me why he would be taking this very quiet, like, I'm not trying to set James off, man who's packing heat sort of approach. Um, Ben also has gotten a lot of information about James from Molly's just reveals in group,
mhm.
where Ben hasn't had that level of personal interaction with James, but he's the picture that Molly has painted is alarming. And, he's had enough information from James himself where he's like, yep, this all checks out. I've seen a gun now. Like, there's a lot to it. Um,
Yeah, they focus a lot on the gun. It's a lot of
yeah,
focus on the gun.
yeah. They Chekhov's gun.
Mm.
We'll come back next episode.
Again?
So
Okay.
yeah, it's gonna get used.
Oh,
So
all right then.
yeah. So they need to remind us because we haven't actually seen it again.
Ah, I mean,
So
they certainly remind us a lot of it in this episode.
yeah.
Not
Well,
only do they
they're
say gun multiple times, like at one point, it's like you actually think he's going to bring it out.
yeah. And they're really trying to keep it as an ever-present threat in order to barrel into the next episode, which, you know,
Yeah.
you need to know that it's a threat.
All right.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I mean, I don't think there's anything about James that they're trying to make not a threat. Like
Yeah.
they're not like, oh, but he also loves kittens, like
I
it's
know. I
not
was just thinking that. I was like,
like,
he
but he
has a
has his
gun. He has
grandmother.
a, yeah, he's got a crack pipe. And here's a picture of him with a puppy.
Yeah, there's absolutely no effort to make this person a fully like 3D human in the world. They're just like
Yeah. Bad
evil
guy.
personified. You're like, oh my God.
Which is so
Um,
sad because he's got these like amazing blue eyes
I'm
that I'm just
telling
like,
you.
oh, oh,
Oh my
piercing,
God. If you want to see,
piercing.
Eddie Cahill is more of a hero. There's probably a lot of things that you can watch. Go ahead and watch Miracle. Anyway,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so now we're going to get back so Felicity is going to come back home. Is this the loft? It must be the loft because Noel's going there too.
Yeah.
Um,
And well, Ben's in bed.
yeah, Ben's in
So,
bed. Felicity and Noel are coming back, I guess, into the loft. It's late. It's like 1:30 a.m. or something. They've been working.
yeah.
Felicity comes back in. She gets in bed next to Ben. She turns on a light and opens a book to start studying for her
Yeah.
stuff.
She's like, I didn't want to wake you up. And then turns on the light.
Maybe stay in your own apartment, eh?
Yeah. Just a thought. But here's what really bugs me. All right. She takes off her pants
Yeah.
and hops into bed wearing a sweater. And then, like, kind of, she opens the book, she sort of cuddles down. Now, what is the problem with this? What step is she missing? Take your bra off, woman. Every woman in the world is sitting there looking at you going, where's your bra?
How do you know
Like,
she was wearing one?
I mean, that was a thought, but I don't know, up until 1:30 in the morning studying with Noel with no bra on, that also feels uncomfortable. I
I
hug a
mean,
lot.
I think we've seen a fair amount of episodes where it doesn't seem like the women are wearing bras at all. But
Or,
um
that they're not particularly sturdy in
so,
front. But
yeah.
I'm just saying, it made me feel uncomfortable to like, I was just like, oh my God, the first thing I want to do. Anyway,
Okay,
she
I hear
turns on
you.
the light.
All
She
right.
opens her book up.
And Ben's just like,
I
like,
know.
he's like, this is a lot. It's
Yeah.
1:30 a.m. You're coming back in with him. Now you're studying for your stuff. This is, come on. I mean, this is a lot.
Yeah.
And Felicity's like, yeah, but I want to do this thing. I want to work with Noel. I wanted the loser pet store is cool.
And again, he doesn't go into fix it mode. He doesn't try to help out. He just turns to her, he says, "Good luck," and then he just turns over and goes to bed.
That's the attempt anyway.
And
Yeah.
this is where I don't know, I don't understand Ben. It's like he's helping other people, he's being heroic, he's doing his thing, but like with Felicity, he's just like, meh.
Hmm. I wonder if that'll bear out across the rest of the show. It might. It might.
It's weird. Especially because we'll see later on that Noel goes into fix it mode,
Yeah, well.
which
Okay,
he's
well, we'll
always
get
done.
there. We'll get there. So we're back to the calendar, all right? And we're gonna see the
Love this.
interviews of the potential models, the students to be selected for the calendar. We've got a man standing
Calendars.
there, shirtless. Megan's poking him for the calendar.
Yeah, I love that. She pokes him and he like laughs. He like smiles.
Yeah, she needed to make sure it was all good. And then
Which
Veronica
one?
Temple comes in, the lady for the men's calendar. And, Sean and Richard are just drooling. And she likes to walk barefoot on the beach. And she's what likes to pray for world peace. And they're eating it up.
Yep.
I like the part where she says, she's like, in terms of her she's like, well, I like praying for world peace. I don't like loud people. And
Mhm.
Megan's like, okay, thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Megan and Sean play this really fun, jealous, just bickering, you know, it, it's great. And you just add Richard into the mix and it's fantastic.
And I do like that
Yeah.
the way that they set up this story, because we know right from the beginning that they're in this weird moment in their relationship sexually where, he's still, I don't know. I don't know what's making him not be able to perform, right? But is it
Well, we
is
find
it a
out.
medical thing? Probably not.
Yeah.
Is it he's just not ready yet? Is it like there is that ambiguity that's happening here, and we'll find out later that they're both layering all this stuff onto it. And here it makes all the sense in the world that they'd be like really jealous
Yeah, because
and like insecure about it.
they're both really insecure about what's going on with Sean's penis.
Yeah.
You know? I mean,
Yeah.
Sean says, "Don't get mad at me because she's hot." And Meghan fires back, "Then sleep with her. I need a break."
Yeah.
They're both super insecure right now.
Richard's like, can we be professional
Yeah,
here?
I know.
Probably not, Richard, let's be honest.
No, but when Richard's the
Yeah.
guy asking for professionalism, you know you're in trouble.
There's an issue. There's an issue
Yeah.
that's maybe or maybe not resolvable. Um, so we are now going to go from here to group
I
Al-Anon.
love the way they shot this scene. So
Mm-hmm.
the camera is on Molly while she's talking.
Mm-hmm.
And then they switch it over, and the only other person you see is Ben. So it
Mm-hmm.
looks like she's just confiding in him.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody starts to get up and like walk out, and you realize, oh,
There were all
it's
these other
group
people.
again,
Yeah.
right? They didn't do a panning shot where you saw other people. It looked like it was just the two of them having this intimate conversation. And
And I
then,
think that's the important thing about this. It's like a container for Molly to have private conversations with Ben. I feel like the stuff that she's saying is no longer just about sharing it with the group. I think it feels like this is the container to say things to Ben. And the fact that they're showing that visually with the camera is, I think, a choice that reflects to me Molly is only comfortable in this space, and she's got mixed reactions with Ben outside of group. But
it's
I
so
don't know.
interesting because I took it the exact opposite way, where I feel like Molly's talking kind of to herself, but to the group, but Ben is solely focused on her.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're kind of seeing it from his perspective of like she's the only other person in the room.
Aha.
And it was I started to pay attention to this when they pan out a little bit and you can start seeing other people. I was looking around and clearly like this is not a student group.
Mm-hmm.
This is not something organized by, the university. So this is New York. Like
Mm-hmm.
either one of them could find many, many other groups.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
thought for a minute they were staying in the same group because it was like a campus thing, a security thing, like you're with, other students or something. But no, that's not what this is. And so there's a reason that they're both still there, I guess. I don't know exactly what they're thinking,
Yeah.
but
It's
you
interesting.
know,
Well, Molly's really getting into it. She's like, James is dealing, which I think in the last episode, Ben was like, he's dealing again. You realize that, right? She's like, no, no, he's not. And then she comes into this group and she's like, he's dealing
hmm
and he's using and I'm using.
hmm
And um, sort of more of the same. I mean, it's an escalation that he's dealing, but she's been using along the way. Ben's going to approach her after the group in his, classic not so soft method. He's like, this is stupid. What are you doing?
I mean, but she's very clear. She's like, I don't want to talk to you out. Like, she's like, I don't want to talk to you outside of this. And Ben's just gonna say what he's gonna say. And she's like, look, I love him. And this is where I made a note, a little asterisk, and I was like, Ben's in hero mode for Molly, but not Felicity. Like this is
Well,
so
but there's
weird.
also some stuff she says before she gets to the I love him. She's like, this is temporary. He's doing the dealing to get on his feet. He's promised he's going to get clean. I believe him.
Mhm.
So there's all this stuff she says before the I love him. And it's like, yeah, I love him is a sentence to itself. But then like coupled with that is this huge amount of denial that she seems to be in,
Well, Ben's
where she's,
reaction is, "Do you really believe that?"
yeah,
And she says, "I have to. I
yeah,
love him."
yeah. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, I do wonder, like when you say like Ben doesn't go in hero mode with Felicity, I don't know if he ever does. So we'll need to watch that.
He did once, when he went to go tell the to go ask the professor to kind of give her another shot at the, was it a midterm or a
Yeah,
final?
Professor
And like
Morton.
I didn't hate that. Like I really felt like that was, it wasn't overstepping
Yeah. I think in the future though, I'm having a hard time thinking of any scenarios where he like jumps in to save the day
for her.
for
But I feel
her.
like he's,
But he does it with a number of other people.
yeah.
So we'll see. Maybe there's something to that. Um, maybe that's why Felicity's his safe space
Could
because he
be.
doesn't feel like he needs to jump in and help. Maybe that's a dynamic that they set up with like the nonsense around her rewriting his paper and like she's saving his day and when they got held up at gunpoint and he was coming over and having chats with her and
Hmm.
he was saying it was because he was concerned about her and she's like, no, you were concerned about you.
Hmm.
um Maybe some of that stuff that they set up in season one changed their dynamic around
Like
that in a way that he
she's kind of,
liked.
yeah, like she's kind of the strong one in the relationship.
Maybe. Let's keep thinking. Let's have that in the back of our minds as we continue through this series because I do think there's something interesting about that. Like maybe this relationship is working for him so well because he doesn't feel like he needs to save the day with her.
Hmm.
Um, which may or
And
may not be
and
fair to her at points when she actually needs her day saved.
well, but I'm
But
also thinking like this means he doesn't identify her with his mother, who he has saved. I feel like he goes into hero mode with a lot of the women
mhm.
because he identifies as like, this is what I had to do for my mom.
And if anything, he holds her accountable. He holds Felicity accountable for stuff like the stuff with Randy. It was like, you look what you did.
Yeah.
Like she was in trouble. She was upset. He could have gone into saving mode, and instead he was like, "This is something you did." Um, so I guess we also have examples of him sort of holding her feet to the fire and saying, like, "Come on." Um,
Hmm.
so I don't know. Maybe that's the attraction here. Maybe he didn't seek out his mom in a relationship. Maybe he
Yeah.
sought out somebody who
Made him feel
made
safe for
him feel
once.
safe. Yeah, that's which is a change. Is it a healthy choice? Maybe. I don't know. It's a change. I think a
Mm.
lot of people do seek out more of the same,
Yeah. I
and
mean,
he sought out something
he
different.
does he does get plenty of his hero stuff in other places, so
Yeah, this is interesting. Well, we'll just see if that continues to hold up in like future episodes, but I think it might. Um, so we're gonna have a moment. We're gonna go like for a second documentary style, but not really, or it's just like Meghan's
yeah,
holding Sean's camera.
it's so funny. I love it.
Meghan's got the camera directly on Joe's abs, another model.
I believe it's a little further south than that.
Mm. Sean takes the camera away, so we go non-documentary style. It's like, what are you doing?
And the model is standing there just being like, are you getting all of this? I have a really great body.
Yeah, that guy.
It's a great
That
line.
was somebody's, I don't know if that was like his first speaking role ever, but that is so great. Hey guys,
Yeah.
family, check this out. I'm in the show Felicity. I'm this guy Joe. Yeah. Elena and Tracy are going to arrive on the scene, and Elena is quickly going to excuse herself. So it's just Tracy there, and
Yeah,
Tracy.
Megan's going to be her usual subtle self, and as Tracy and Elena walk in, she's going to look at them and say, "What are you two doing together?"
Yeah.
Subtle,
Yeah.
subtle, Megan.
Yeah. Well, it's a question maybe everybody might be thinking. And so now that Elena's gone, Megan's like looking at Tracy and she says, I see potential here. She says to Tracy, take off your shirt. She says, you're in the calendar.
I mean, did you
Yeah.
see him when he took off his shirt?
I
Of
mean,
course
yeah.
he's in the calendar.
Yeah. And so Tracy's now going to be in this calendar.
And there's a picture of
Going
him.
to be Mr. October.
Yep.
All right. Noel and Felicity are working on Loser Pet Store. Noel, you get the sense that Noel has presented a number of great ideas.
Well, a number of
A
ideas.
number of ideas. And he is doing so with enthusiasm and energy and interest. And Felicity looks exhausted and
Yeah,
distracted.
she looks so tired. I want to give an award to Felicity for just this moment of just being so tired, because I wrote down tired and then she proceeded to do all the things I do when I just get way too tired, and including a just fantastic shot of the Carrie Russell vein.
Yeah. Which
This was
normally
just
comes out
like,
when she's angry. But
right.
here, or
Uh,
really sad. But here, she managed to evoke it when tired.
well, tired, overwhelmed. I mean, just everything gets to her. And this was just like grade A acting. Loved it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, the vein there, I remember watching an interview about the Americans at one point when there was a particularly great scene from her where her vein was very prominent. And I think it was from the Americans. And um there was a question about whether there was a thought to like to say Photoshop, but that's not the correct word, to edit it out. And
Hmm.
she's like, no, no, the angry vein stays.
Yeah. Good for
Like
her.
she was so like the vein is real.
Yeah.
Like that's what happens when my face gets angry like that. It's like why, like she's like angry doesn't have to be pretty.
No. But
Like it.
also it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So she's coming. She doesn't really have any ideas because, frankly, she just seems to be looking at the notes she's written down, which was Noel's ideas, and
Mhm.
reiterating them back to him. And he's like, "What is happening?"
I mean, he goes back and forth in this scene because he's like, "Are you okay? Like, the project seems important to me. Seems like you're not really, like, you don't care." And she just like
I don't.
bursts out crying.
I don't really feel like the "Are you okay?" was coming from an "Are you okay?" place, though. It was. I think when he says, "It seems like you don't care," that I think was the root of what he was feeling. I don't feel like in that moment he was concerned about her as much as feeling that insecurity come up for him of like, oh, like this is important to me. Why isn't it important to you? It just was, yeah. When he
I
said it seems like you don't
feel,
care, it felt very like it was cutting him to the core. That she'd seem like she didn't care. Um,
yeah, I think the "Are you okay?" did come from a place of concern because she looked not great, let's
mhm,
admit. But when she didn't then tell him anything, right?
mhm.
Then then he starts to get real peeved because he's like, "Okay, you are okay. Like you didn't say anything about not being okay. Like what's going on?" And she just, bursts out crying, but she says it's all fine.
Yeah. Well, okay. It's just she's looking frustrated and she's like, let's just get this stupid thing out of the way. Which is a thing
Yeah.
she's saying coming from a place of being exhausted and overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And Noel's gonna take it to heart and he's gonna take it personally. He's gonna be like, fine. I'll do it myself. And he storms out of the room. He's taking on
Yep.
Richard Mantle from last time,
Yep.
right? He just like storms out of the room.
And Felicity sits there for a second. I mean, God bless her. She pulls herself together and goes after Noel. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I would have just been like, I want a nap. Like,
Yeah.
do it yourself.
Yeah. Which is
But
probably
she
the better move
goes,
anyway. Like,
yeah.
she probably should not have caught up with Noel here because where was that conversation going?
Which she wasn't gonna, she wasn't gonna do. He was out the door. He was
He was out
gone.
the door. Yeah. She needs to sleep. Which she's not going to do anyway, but that's fine. Molly is going to intercept Felicity. She's going to arrive and she's shaken up.
She's also
Something just
crying.
happened. She's crying. Can I come back?
Please.
Um, but in such a way that it's like clearly something big just occurred where she's very unsettled. So we're not going to find out just yet what that is. We're going to go back to the loft. Ben's there. Noel arrives. He's heated.
Oh yeah.
He's complaining about
Hot.
Felicity.
He is coming in. He is mad. He's taking his jacket off.
Felicity's not being a good friend.
Right. And Ben here is just being super calm,
I love
super
this.
honest. He's
Ben's
gonna
like,
stick up
oh,
for
what? Does it seem
Felicity.
like she's maybe overloaded? Noel's like, no, that's not it.
Like, I don't have time to figure out what's wrong with her.
Like Ben
And
just adds
then,
that dose of like, here's what's going on.
yeah,
She's got all her classes. She has to take that philosophy final that you don't know about for the class UTA. Remember that
uh-huh,
one? How hard that was? She has to learn all of that in 3 days. And then she's doing this thing with you. I told her to drop the thing with you.
yeah. He's like, I told her she should abandon you. And Noel's just like, nice. Like, thanks. They have this weird dynamic in this I don't know, just in general. Like, are they friends? I mean, they're being sarcastic, they're being honest. Like, I don't know what this is, but I feel like there's a number of weird dynamics that go on in this episode,
But I
and
guess
this
the
is
good
one of
thing
them.
about wherever they are right now, Noel doesn't spend more time in this episode being like, Ben told me he told you to abandon me. Like, he doesn't
Yes.
spend any amount of time on that. The next time we're going to see Noel, he's taken it to heart.
Yeah.
He's like, Felicity needs help. I'm going to offer my help. So, as
Yeah, I
insecure as
mean,
Noel may be, he's not fixating too much on Ben.
no, no. I mean, Ben and Felicity are dating. It's
Mm-hmm.
just what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's to fixate on? Unless you're going to
Well, he
try to
could.
steal her away.
He could.
I mean, he
Do
could.
I put it past Noel to fixate? No.
I mean, I don't know. I just don't think Felicity would put up with it at that point.
Uh-huh.
And I think Noel knows it.
I don't think it's even on her radar, to be honest.
No, but if he were to come in and be like, Ben said that, da, 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 she'd just be like, stop it.
Yeah, it's fair. Well, this is going to be interrupted probably at just the right time. Ben's going to receive a call, probably from Felicity. Ben has to go. And it's alarming enough that he's like, gotta go now. So he just kind of leaves Noel with all the information that he just shared for Noel to think about. And Ben's going to go back to the ladies' apartment where Molly and Felicity are.
Yeah. Now we're
And
finally going to get a conversation that isn't in group.
yeah. So Molly is revealing what just happened that freaked her out so much to Ben and Felicity. He's saying that James pulled a gun on her while he was high.
Yeah. He didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah, I think
But
she's
Ben
still in
says
that
it's not
place.
an excuse.
Yeah. She's still
She's
in the explanation mode. She's like, he cares about maybe he wouldn't do this if you weren't high. It's like, well, he was.
right.
And he
And he
did.
did.
Yeah.
And Felicity very smartly says, yeah, don't worry about him. Like, don't worry about that. Like, people
Molly
to gun
says
on you, you're
something I
here.
think very telling here too. Like I really I'm hearing everything she's saying and it's checking for me. It's checking out for me, I think, where she's like, he'll be mad that I left.
Yeah. She's like, she says he doesn't even know that I left. And he's going to be so mad.
It's like I believe that this is a combination of she's drawn to him and there's fear though, and there's like I want to be there, but I don't, but I can't leave. Like I feel like all of that is at
I
play for her.
I don't think she's scared of him. I
Okay.
really don't. I think when she says he's going to be mad, she's more worried about what he might do to someone else or
Then to
himself
her.
than to her.
Okay.
And Ben very rightly brings up group. He's like, remember group? Remember the whole point of group? That is like, you can't fix anybody but yourself. Like,
Yeah.
and then he says gun like 6 times and you
Hmm.
can't go back there.
Yeah. She's like, but I have to go back there because I can't breathe without him.
Well, she doesn't say she has to go back. She says she's scared for him.
Hmm.
And she's like, this thing over and over with like, you just don't understand what real love is, right?
Yeah.
She's like, you just don't understand. And Felicity is like, she's like, well, Molly says, I'm worried that something's going to happen to him. And Felicity says, if you go back, something bad might happen to you. Now, this is the reaction I wanted from Felicity when Ben was having his whole violent spree and punching lamps.
Hmm.
This is the exact sentiment. It's like, how can you say this to Molly when you completely ignored everything about Ben?
Hmm. Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
really?
So,
Where did the self awareness go, Felicity? Where did it go?
well, I guess this is a whole mess of people not being totally self-aware in this conversation.
Mm,
I don't know. But I guess Molly asking for help is something different in this non-group setting. Well, even in a group setting, she's not really asking for help. She's just reporting.
mhm.
And here, this is a different thing. Is the outcome going to be so different? I don't know, but it's a change.
Mhm.
So we're going to go back to Meghan and Sean, who are
Mhm.
pretty much having a full-on fight over these calendar models.
Mhm.
Just talking about them.
They're all stupid.
And
All the models are stupid.
yeah, Richard is like, what is happening? Meghan
Yeah.
boils it down to sexual tension, and Richard's like, oh, you haven't done the deed yet since the surgery.
It's going to continue to be Richard.
Yeah, he's very indelicate about all of this, and Sean's just going to get up and leave.
Sean doesn't want to talk about it because there's nothing to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But Elena's going to come in and
Yeah,
ask, what's what's the problem? And Richard is, very Richardly going to say his penis is the problem.
yeah, that's what's happening.
It is.
But Elena's not going to spend much time thinking about that issue because she sees that there's a photo of Tracy on the table amongst the
Shirtless.
photos of the other models, and she finds out that Tracy is now going to be Mr. October, and she's like, no,
Mm-mm.
no, no.
No to the no.
Mm-hmm.
He is a sensitive, religious man. You cannot do this to him. This is the problem I have with Elena. I'm like, really? You're going to pull religion out now and use it? Like,
Yeah,
just because you don't want other women? And she's very clear about it. She's like, every girl in school will be after him, and I will have no chance. It's like, so you're just going to pull the religion card first on Richard, and then it'll continue doing that in the next scene.
I like how Richard is just like throws it right back at her. He's like, well, the caption could be something like virgin, proud of it.
Yeah, fixed, no problem. And she's just like, no. He's like, well, it's not my choice. Go talk to him.
yeah, she is very threatened by this and she's going to leave. And I mean, she's activated. She, I like the conversation she then has with Tracy about it after this, where it's just like, oh my goodness, she's a mess.
Yeah.
She's such a mess and she's so out, like, she's so raw and out there,
And
and
yet
it's not even right. Like,
still using religion and insensitive, but sure. Yeah,
no,
she
but there's
comes
nothing
in
clean
hot.
about the next conversation she has with Tracy
No,
whatsoever.
no,
And like she's so out of line in so many ways. And Tracy's
yeah,
like, you're out of line in so many ways. Well, we'll get there. I don't
yeah.
know. I actually really like the scene. But so first let's go to Ben and Molly at a rehab clinic. Molly Molly's like, James is probably looking for me. Ben's like, well, he's not gonna come here to find
Yeah.
you. Like, no
He,
chance.
like, as much as I have not liked Molly, I will say, like, the actress who plays her is quite good because she does look like she's in withdrawal for like a good part of this episode.
Oh, okay.
She looks rough.
Okay.
And she's at the clinic and she makes a joke like, maybe I can just stay here for 3 or 4 years. I mean, maybe you should stay a little while. I mean,
Yeah.
inpatient is an option, maybe, just a thought.
Yeah.
But Ben's gonna,
Yeah.
you
Ben's
know,
gonna have a
well,
nice moment with her where, well, I don't know. Ben's just gonna have an honest moment with her. He's like, you know what? We do these things. We go to group, we come to this clinic. I don't really know you. And instead of actually saying anything about herself, Molly's like, well, yet you're doing one of the kindest things for me that anybody's done.
which lets you know a lot about Molly. I mean, as much as her psychic mother is around, like clearly she has not known a lot of love.
Mm-hmm. I guess her psychic mother has a blind spot around drugs and James.
Yeah.
Maybe two blind spots, maybe more than two blind spots. Who's to say?
Perhaps she's not psychic.
Perhaps she's not.
It's just a thought.
Just a thought.
Yeah.
We're gonna head to Felicity and Noel. Noel's like, I was a jerk. I was a jerk, right? I mean,
Hmm.
I didn't know
And,
all this stuff was happening for you.
but Felicity, to her credit, says, look, I should have told you. And Noel affirms that, but then continues to say he's sorry. And Felicity's like, all right, enough groveling. You're forgiven.
But I really do enjoy that project. I mean, I wonder, like, do you think maybe Professor Morrison could give us an extension?
Just for a few days. And not only is she looking forward to it, she's looking forward to doing it with Noel.
Yeah. Noel's like, ah, yay. Ah.
All my dreams are coming true.
So he's going to do the old, he's got Morrison on speed dial on his phone. He's going to call Morrison
Yeah,
about that extension.
how weird was that, right?
Mm-hmm.
He clicked one button on a landline. I like that we both noticed that. We're not gonna waste having him.
I wish it were like a cell phone where he had programmed him as like Icebox Man or something like that. Icebox Man. Call Icebox Man. Yeah. Noel's gonna call Morrison for an extension, and we're gonna get Morrison's part of it. We're going to hear Morrison's part where he's like, no, definitely not gonna happen. Sorry. Yeah. Noel's like, oh great. Oh, that's awesome. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you much. He's gonna say to Felicity, yep, we got the extension, all good.
Yep. Complete lie. Complete lie.
Says, so since we have that extension, how about I help you study for that class, because I was the TA of that class last year.
And how does she not know that when Ben was in the class?
Yeah.
And she's like, oh my gosh, you were the teacher.
Yeah.
So Noel goes into fix-it mode.
Sure does.
And
Yeah.
then they hug. And we just get a close up of Noel's like O face during the hug. So maybe she
Yeah.
wasn't wearing a bra. I don't know.
Who's to say? Who's to say? Here's a relationship that's not going to be fixed after the next scene. Elena and Tracy
Coming in hot.
coming in hot. It's after class. Elena's fresh off of the news that Tracy's going to be Mr. October.
She's got a picture in her hand.
She took the photo with
Yep.
her.
I mean, don't get me wrong. If I got a hold of that photo, I'm keeping it.
Yeah, fair enough. She's like, you're a tease. Okay. I don't like you putting yourself out there like that. You didn't even ask me. And Tracy's like, what is
She's like, you're
going
a
on?
hypocrite. She calls him a hypocrite. She's like, you say you're all religious and all this stuff. And I was just
She
like,
is letting it rip so hard.
whoa.
I mean, this is 100% emotion, 0% thought.
Yeah.
Like, there is not one thing that she said that she should be authorized to say.
Nope.
But it's also how she's feeling, and it's very real for her, and it's completely inappropriate that she's expressing it because, as Tracy rightly points out, you're not my girlfriend,
Yeah.
you're my friend. We just did the handshake.
And she's just like, nope, no, can't be friends. Cannot be friends. Can't do it. Walks away, keeps the picture.
I love the scene so much
I did
because
too.
it's so out of control. And Elena's so not in her right mind. And
Yeah.
Elena's so unfair. And she's
Yep.
so honest. And Tracy's like, uh-uh. Oh, I
Yes, this would be the moment
loved it.
that,
Yeah.
when people say bitches be crazy. But, you know, it's Elena. We love her, and we love her and Tracy.
Such a mess.
It's just, it's rough. It's rough.
Yeah.
But it is funny. Oh
Yeah.
man.
So,
So as far as we know, they're no longer friends.
well, yeah, I guess that's what just happened. Who's to
Mhm.
say?
At this
Um,
point.
according to Elena, I have a
Yeah.
feeling she's going to regret that. But whatever. Such
Maybe
is
not.
life.
Maybe not.
So Noel and Felicity, they are
Mhm.
studying at the women's apartment. Ben is also at the apartment because this threesome is getting weird. And
As I said, weird vibes. We got some weird vibes going on.
yeah, so the main thing here, though, this is what's happening, and up until the major point that James storms in.
Yeah. Because again, no locks on doors in New York City.
Yeah,
A point that Noel says. Like,
yeah.
dude, lock your door.
Have they not had enough examples of why you need to lock your door?
So many examples.
So many. So James stars in. He's like, "Where is Molly?" He is. I don't know. Is he frantic? Is he angry? Is he both? Um,
I think he I think he is potentially also a little bit in withdrawal. I think he is unstable. I he's very, very on edge,
you think
which
he's in
seems
withdrawal or he's actually high right then?
I don't know, the way he was acting, it seemed like
Withdrawal.
maybe just a little bit like he went to find Molly before uh he had anything. But you know what? It's crack, so he very well could be high. But he's definitely on edge. Like
Yeah.
he is coming on full 100% threatening.
Yeah. Where's Molly? Felicity takes the road. She's not here, which Molly is here. She's in the back room. Felicity says she's not here. Ben's going to double down on that. James turns to Felicity. He's like, if you're lying to me,
Noel pipes up, "Don't threaten her," just because he doesn't know what's happening. Yeah.
Yeah. He has no clue. But I think anybody in that apartment at that moment could feel the vibe coming off of James, and it wasn't good.
Mhm.
So Ben's reiterating that Molly's not there. And then Molly, of course, comes out.
Yeah.
So she is
What the
there.
fuck, Molly?
Then Molly, that was your cue to not come out.
Yeah. Ugh. But I feel for
Um,
her because she can't even look James in the eye.
no, she cannot.
She just fully retreats inside herself.
And you can see the sort of like two-facedness of James. Like he
Oh
sees
yeah.
her and she's like, "Where's your stuff, baby?" It's like
Yeah.
you can see how different a person. It's always weird, I think, if we take drugs out of the equation here, it's weird when you have a dynamic with one person and then you have a dynamic with another person or another group. And then suddenly those people are together and you have to figure out which one is dominant, like which version of you comes out. And I think in this situation, he's toggling very aggressively and very quickly between being the maintaining charming James who's trying to maintain the relationship with Molly, like the placating, the oh, it's all going to be fine, I'll get help, we'll do this, we'll do that. But then having these other voices be like, she doesn't want to go with you, and he's like, stop it, like he's swiveling his head and being a totally different person between Molly and the other three people in this room.
Yeah.
And
And he
it's
does it
like,
very
whoa,
well.
he does it very well. But it has to be very, um, there's a lot of conflict there internally. There has to be, because
Yeah.
at the
And
same time, like if you're trying to placate Molly, but you're showing her what you're saying to these other people, like you have to be very like, now listen, Molly. And then like he snaps at these other people, but then he has to go even like closer into her to be like, no, but really, like it's just very hard to balance that in
yeah,
even a situation where you're totally with it. And then he's got this instability factor. And it's like, oh, this is a mess.
it is. A lot of this episode is a mess. And I think he does a very good job with this, with the, snapping to anger at and being threatening some people. And while he is um, trying to show concern for her, she knows he's like threatening to the other people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she can't look him in the eye. Like she feels the tension in the room. And I feel like he like we'll see this later, but he also shifts tactics with her. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's certainly manipulating her. Like he'll go from like grabbing her to touching her to hands back to, I mean, he's doing all kinds of different things with her. So she's probably been on the receiving end of some of this anger herself.
Or if she hasn't, if he's been hiding that from her, she's now seeing it directed at other people. And there's a desperation there for him because it's like the cat is coming out of the bag. If she hadn't already seen that stuff from him directly,
Yeah.
there's no upside for him for these three other people to be in this room.
No.
He needs them
He
gone.
only wants her.
Yeah.
And, you know, Ben is going to come in and again just be this totally other person that I don't get because he has this soft tone. He is trying to de-escalate. He's trying to reason with James. He's
and
saying,
and Molly, by the way, had already sort of taken the stand. Like you said, she's not giving him eye contact and she's saying, I need time. I just need time. I'm so tired.
mhm.
Um, so that's what she's saying. That leads into Ben. So what you were saying about Ben.
Yeah, and James is like, these people don't care about you, right? And he's getting more and more on edge every time someone else starts talking.
Yeah.
And so Ben is just really trying to keep it calm. Like
Mhm.
he really just wants this guy to go away, but he's not backing down. He's saying, sort of a almost, come on, man. Like, just let her sleep. Like, we're not a danger. Like, you can come back later. Nobody wants anything bad to happen.
Mhm.
And James reaches into his pocket,
His
so
jacket.
we're all very well aware that he could potentially pull out a gun.
Mhm.
But instead, he pulls out a cigarette and lights it and is like, fine, sleep, whatever. And he looks directly at Ben, and Ben drops his eyes like he is not trying to piss this guy off.
Mhm.
It's just this, I don't know, very controlled reasoning, um, just saying exactly the right thing in the right way
Well, I
that,
think the fact that he started with like, just let her sleep for a little. Like, don't you care? It was sort of like a don't you care about Molly sort of test, because it's like, if that is in fact your priority, she just needs a minute. Um, it's a little harder for him to argue that and not come out like a jerk in front of Molly. So I think he pauses on that. And fortunate. And
mm,
also, it sort of was like painted into a corner too. I think it was a smart comment from Ben.
mhm. But
Um,
man, when James pulls out that cigarette and lights it and just like looks directly into the camera with like those piercing blue eyes
those
with like
piercing
the
blue eyes from Eddie
smoke
Cahill.
around his face, I'm just like, are you the devil?
Yeah, it's,
But also those eyes,
those eyes, it's hypnotic.
right?
Um, James is gonna leave, but the level of ratcheted up tension there was
Yeah.
significant. I think everybody in that apartment knows it. Uh, it feels like a real okay. Let's all breathe now. Um, so we're gonna get some aftermath of that. I guess Molly is gonna head back to bed, which we'll find out later. But Noel and Felicity are going to leave the apartment to study, leaving Ben there to sort of just mind the apartment and make sure James doesn't come back and threaten Molly. So Felicity is going to say,
Felicity asks him very consciously, Ben, my man, lock the door.
yeah,
The inside locks.
yeah, the inside locks.
Lock the door, man.
Yeah. Um, Noel is lingering ultra too long.
Yeah.
He doesn't get it until finally he's like, oh, you want to say goodbye to each other. I see. So he's going to go away. And Felicity and Ben are debriefing. Felicity's like, that was really scary there with James, but I'm really proud of you. You had calm, you had control. Ben's like, I was about to pee my pants. I was freaking out.
Mhm.
Um, but he's going to stay behind, watch after Molly, and they're going to go off and study.
Well, they have these series, it was like at least two or three really great kisses goodbye
Mm-hmm.
between Felicity and Ben.
Mm-hmm.
And it just made me worry. I was like, those are really great goodbye kisses.
Oh, it was ominous for you?
Well, I was just like they're really saying goodbye.
Ooh.
Like it makes the audience feel like, I don't know, like something could happen, but thankfully it was okay.
Yeah.
And but it did make me worry.
That's
Um
good. That was effective then. I mean, there isn't a danger for the rest of this episode necessarily, but that, like, I think again, they're trying to make the looming presence of James
yeah.
very something that you feel.
Well, I was worried Ben was going to go off, but then I didn't realize, I guess, that Molly was still there.
Mm.
I don't know where she went, but I guess I forgot about her.
Hmm.
But Ben comes in and he like looks in the door and she's like curled up in the fetal position.
Yeah.
Still in this like gray. She wears gray the entire episode. Just really comfortable clothes, which again makes me think she's in withdrawal.
Hmm.
Um, and so he's basically going to be watching over her,
Yeah.
seemingly.
Yeah. So then we'll switch over to just watching Noel and Felicity study. Felicity
Which
is
is this
full
is
on
such a weird
delirious.
scene.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but this is such a weird scene from Noel. It's so weird. The weird energy is back. It's
Yeah,
so
the weird
weird.
energy is there. She's delirious. She's exhausted. She's feeling pretty hopeless about being able to absorb all of Western thought in history of Western thought in 3 days, or now maybe
Well,
one
like
day.
a night. This is
Yeah.
it. It's tomorrow.
So it's the delirium is coming out as sarcasm and lack of focus. And Noel's like, no, I'm giving you a pep talk because I have faith in you. And I want this to be on a night we look back on in the future, years from now. We're talking to our kids, we're talking to our grandkids. We're really,
he,
he's,
d- he
he's
doesn't
got
quite
this
say
energy.
that, but
He
that's
doesn't.
where that
He's
is the
close. He
feel.
stopped just short of that. And he's got this vision of how we're going to remember this all nighter for years to come.
And he's sacrificing
Mm.
his own time because he knows it's not a lost cause. And, only Felicity, not many people, not all people get this from me. This is special. This is
You
special
and
for you.
Ben.
Yeah, apparently.
um,
We're
I
saving each other's asses here. And it's just like, you're weird. Why are you being so
it feels as
weird?
though this study session means a little more to Noel than it does to
It
Felicity.
does. It's like,
He might be
okay,
layering in a
so
context to
she,
this that it doesn't warrant.
yeah, it's like, so she fails a class.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not the end of the world. And Felicity understands that, but it is so important to know.
We're going to look back on this an all-nighter when we're old is not a thing you need to reflect on in the moment. The amount of time you spend reflecting on looking back on this when you're old is an amount of time you're not spending thinking about passing the class tomorrow.
But this is what's motivating her.
Yeah.
This is the weird ass energy that actually gets her back on track to say, let's do it.
Well, there it is. So, okay, we're back at the apartment. Molly's going to come into the room where Ben is, wake him up.
I know.
Molly's like, you know, it's occurring to me.
Just right now, in
I
this
think
moment.
I need to
Mhm.
break up with James, but I need to do it in person.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Huh.
Do you?
Ben's not loving that. He's like, yes, you have to break up with him, correct? But do you really have to do it in person?
Yeah. He's like, well,
And
at least could you do it in public and I'll come with you? She's like, no. He's like, I'll be out of sight.
yeah,
I'll
well,
lurk.
she's like, James would never hurt me, but I don't know what
Like, you're
he'd do.
totally on the table.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know what he'd do if you show up. And so
Yeah.
Ben's like, I'll hide. Don't worry. I'll
Yeah.
hide.
Yeah.
I'm just like, whoa. And this is so weird because Ben says, all right, he's dangerous and I'm not going to let you go alone. And Molly says, well, don't I have a say? And Ben's just like, no. And I'm like, okay. And then Molly says thanks. So I guess that's an acceptance of help. But it was a little weird to be like, hero complex, I am now in control of what is happening.
Yeah. It is
Hmm.
definitely that coming across there. I think this is that weird space that honestly in real life can go on for years and years and years and years and maybe forever, where somebody's like, I know this isn't good for me. I'm gonna change it. And then they don't.
Hmm.
And then like you end up being the friend confidant that they can come to anytime they want and be like, I'm going to change it, but then they don't change it. And I think in real life, I've seen that last for a while.
Yeah,
And
like
usually with
decades.
relationships, like, and we've got an addiction factor here as well. But even just if you look at the relationships piece of it, I've certainly seen relationships where you're like, why are you with him?
Hmm.
Or why am I with him? Or whatever's happening here. And like,
Hmm.
it's like, no, I know I should leave this, but I'm not. But then they're not going to. So after a while, being the confidant, it's like, what are we
It's
doing
frustrating.
here in these
Yeah.
conversations? Like, why am I having these conversations with you? And so, but
Yeah.
Ben has not earned the amount of time probably to feel that way. But Ben's just like, I'm gonna skip over all of that, and I'm just going to tell you what this outcome is going to be. Um, which he can't control, and we'll see that in
No,
a minute.
exactly. And that's the thing. And he's gonna have to learn that one way or another. I don't know what happens to like, any of them in the future. Like I guess I potentially thought this was the last time we were gonna see Molly and or James. But I guess that's not the case since the
No.
gun comes back, and I'm assuming it doesn't walk on its own. Um, but like this is a lesson. Like if you are going to be that confidant person, you need to quickly reconcile yourself, or over time very painfully reconcile yourself to the fact that you are someone who is listening, letting them get it off their chest, and you are not going to change anything that they do.
Yeah.
They are the one who has to change it.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you don't want to hear it anymore, then that's your choice. And if you do want to
Yes.
hear it, then that's your choice. But
Yes.
it's like,
And you have to
because you think
communicate
you've
that.
given the best advice in the whole world.
Yeah.
Like,
Means
doesn't
nothing.
matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
No.
Um, so all right. So we're gonna get to a sequence of things to sort of wrap up all these stories here. So first of all, Felicity's gonna take her final. She's smiling because she's got this.
We hope so.
Yeah, we think. Um, there's that. Okay. So then Tracy is gonna show up at Elena's door.
Wait, I have to say, Elena is wearing the cutest outfit here. I
Oh,
absolutely loved it. I'm not a fan of culottes, but you know what? She's got a matching pair of orange culottes that go into some orange in her shirt, and it's just, she like runs to the door, and it's really cute. I love this outfit.
which is great because Tracy's going to be totally enthralled. He's going to show up at her door. He's going to say, "You know what? We can't be friends." She's like, "Oh." Because when I said that, I was angry and I didn't really.
Yeah.
You can see in her face, she's like, "See, that was a mistake. What I did there." But he's gonna keep rolling with it. He's like, "We can't be friends." He just starts kissing her, then he comes
Yeah.
in.
He's got the smile. He's got the Tracy smile.
Yeah, I guess whatever she said in anger was effective in some way, but was it good for the long run?
I
Who's to
don't
say?
know.
We're now going to switch back to Noel and Felicity. Felicity's like, "Hey, the final went well. It's good. It's all good now."
You're such a good friend.
Yeah. And she proceeds to fall asleep on the couch as Noel's revealing to her that actually he lied about the extension on the loser pet store thing, and they have to get to work on it right away. They've got another all nighter that they'll remember for the rest of their lives. We'll talk
Hmm.
about it with their kids. We'll talk about it with our grandkids. They're going to write epic novels about it. They are going to make a movie about this all nighter that we're about to do. She's asleep. She can't hear any of this.
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Poor Noel. He must now do it
Oh
himself, I guess.
boy. Yeah, or at least let her nap. Either way. Um, Richard, Sean, and Meghan.
I'm just loving the three of them.
So the models have officially been chosen. They're celebrating that. But are they?
No, they're actually celebrating the dawning of the age of Richard. And so both Meghan and Sean are they are appropriately
I put
saddened.
sullen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sullen, saddened. Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
Richard leaves.
Well, I mean, Richard makes an exit.
Yeah.
Meghan and Sean are they're just down.
Yeah.
And um, Richard, they made some comment about, I think, like their grandkids. Like, oh, he made I think Sean made a comment about, yeah, it's the dawning of the age of Richard. We'll tell our grandkids about it. And Richard's like, whoa, maybe you should get, your equipment problems sorted out. And then he hands the photos of all the men to Meghan and says, if it doesn't work out, here's some photos, just for the fantasy.
Hmm.
Um, and
Oh, Richard.
he just riles them both up and then is like, peace, I'm out.
Bye.
um
Just lights the match and walks
oh
away.
my
So
goodness, I
Sean,
love
of
it.
course, this is just going to tap directly into his insecurity. He's like, look, I'm never going to be one of these guys you fantasize about. Megan's like,
Mhm.
how would you know what my fantasies are, though? Like, that's not even a thing.
Yep.
Like, you're actually my fantasy here is where she's kind of going with it. And she's like, wait a minute though, because I thought you weren't into me.
Hmm.
And Sean was like, what?
Yeah, they both have this insecurity, and it's just, I don't know. Even though they drive each other crazy, they also kind of heal each other, I guess, because they
It's
both
a
finally
tangled web.
communicate.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's wonderful that you just said web because Megan is wearing one of my favorite shirts. It's a purple shirt and it has black spiders all over it.
You would think I noticed that when I made that
Oh
comment.
my goodness, it was amazing. And when you see the two of them hug finally, there's like this giant black spider just on her shoulder and it's just everything I want out of Megan's fashion.
Okay.
Um, and I enjoyed that moment. They are healing each other's insecurities, they're communicating, and they are just awakening little Sean
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep, he's aroused and they're gonna need to leave to take care of this.
right
Sad.
away.
Yeah.
Now, I am going to give them the benefit of the doubt that they have already paid their bill because they do not wait to put
You're
money
right.
down.
Listen, folks, pay your bill and tip your server. Thank you.
Yes. Even
Um,
if you've just, you know, battled cancer and finally had, your little man awaken.
even then,
Um,
even
even
if
then,
you are a third wheel in a relationship you thought you were in, but it's actually somebody else's relationship, and they're coming to declare their love for your girlfriend,
mhm,
and they showed up and
you had to punch them in the
Rhinebeck
face.
and in all of these circumstances, think about it. If they can do it, you can too. Okay.
Yep. Thank you.
Now we're going ahead to, I thought, a very lovely scene, an effective scene, a powerful
I
scene.
love the way this was shot.
What music did you have?
I had this song that was like everything is shocking
Ah,
is how it was. I mean, it was actually a great song
okay,
for
well, that's
this.
good. The song that I had, because I was listening to the DVD, was Macy Gray's Phil.
Oh,
Which, when you look at the
interesting.
lyrics, let me actually pull up the lyrics for this because it is exactly their situation. Um, so this is going to be a wordless scene. You're only hearing the song and you're seeing Ben watch Molly and James from afar.
Well, he's on one side of the street and they're on
Mhm.
the other side of the street, and there are cars going between them. So it makes it hard for Ben and us as the audience to see exactly what's going on.
Yeah. So let me just, for those who don't know the Macy Gray song, so some of the lyrics here. In my last years with him, there were bruises on my face. In my dawn, a new day, I finally got away. My head's all messed up, and he knows just what to say. No more dawn and new days. I'm going back to stay. So
Hmm.
why say bye bye when it only makes me cry? I still light up like a candle burning when he calls me up. I still melt down like a candle burning every time we touch. Oh, say what you will. He does me wrong and I should be gone, but I still be loving you, baby. And it's much too much. And there's more. But I mean, this
Wow.
is, first of all, Macy Gray's voice is perfect.
Yeah. I had
But
a
then
guy
the
singing.
words, like, uh, perfectly matched for me. But the actual scene here, Molly's waiting for James. James shows up. Molly goes to break up with him. James goes into fix it mode. He's like, nope. Like he's like trying to make his case. He's trying to be persuasive. He like goes to grab her. She kind of pulls away. Then he goes in to be more gentle and he's getting in. His words are getting in.
But you see this all like, you flash back and forth between them and Ben is kind of leaning forward and like trying to see what's going on, and the cars keep going by. So you only see kind of little bits and pieces, and you're not like 100% sure where they are in the conversation. Like you can kind of see that she steps back, but then the car gets in the way. Um,
And
and
there's this moment in their body language when you can see that Molly's giving up, giving in.
yeah,
And Ben
well,
sees it and they flash to his face and he's like, ooh.
so there's this moment. I think there's a couple of moments. There's the first moment where James goes from grabbing her to just touching her arm. And that's a
Mm-hmm.
thing that he's done multiple times to kind of start pulling her back in, is just
Mm-hmm.
sort of laying his hand on her arm. But then she is still walking away. He grabs her again. And as she's kind of, she's backing up and backing up and backing up. And she kind of like yells at him at one point, and he puts both hands up in the air, and it's like she keeps turning her back on James and taking a step. And as they're getting further and further away, and it looks potentially like she's gonna walk away, but James is still trying really hard. You get this close up of Ben's face, and he wordlessly mouths something um, like "you can do it," or like "just do it, just you can do it." Like he's kind of rooting her on in this desperate sort of way. And right after that, it's like James really starts to get in there, and you just see Ben's face drop.
So why say bye bye
Mm.
when it only makes me cry? Oh my God. Oh my God. I
I may
still
have to
light
watch
up
this
like a
scene over
candle when
again
he calls me up. Oh my God. Um,
yeah, we may need to watch it again, because I'm going to say the song that I was listening to was really good.
it sounds like in all
Um,
iterations, they
but
pick
it
something that
wasn't.
really matches. It's a really important thing to have the right music on that scene
Yeah.
because there's nothing else, like that whole thing changes with different music. It's like,
Well, and the Everything Shocking song, it went on to talk more about emotions and like what was happening and everything. So it it just still fit, but I
yeah.
don't think it fit probably as well as the Macy Gray song. Um,
um that moment when Molly has just sort of like given into it and she
yeah.
starts walking away with James and she looks
Well, she
back.
hugs him. She
Mm-hmm.
hugs James, and that's the moment where like Ben's face falls,
But
and
then they walk
then
away
they
together
walk
and Molly
away.
looks back knowing that Ben saw the whole thing
Yeah.
and she's just
I
that
mean,
look on her
look,
face. It's like, well,
here's the thing though. I get that Ben is trying to help. And I also applaud him for not like running out into the street
mm-hmm.
at any point during this. Um, But this is one of those times where I feel like it's not an adage, but there are sayings that are just sometimes really true.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is when someone tells you who they are, believe them.
Mm-hmm.
Like Molly has said over and over and over again to them, this is our dynamic. This is who I am. Like, you know, it's tough to watch, but yeah, she left with him, and I really didn't think there was any other outcome.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we close with a couple of sort of, I don't know, like there's a motif here in the
Hmm.
last two scenes
Let's get
where
it on.
Meghan and Sean, they're in bed. They just had sex. Yay. There's relief. They're happy. They're feeling good about it. They're excited. Meghan's like, want to go again. Sean's like, no, uh, and then was it Meghan that goes to kiss Sean?
Yeah,
She goes sort of,
Megan goes over, like Sean's laying on his back, and she just sort of
and the
like
camera is
leaves
above
her
them.
whole.
So when Meghan goes to kiss Sean, she covers the
Yeah,
camera.
like you just see the back of her head.
And then we switch to Elena coming off of Tracy
Yeah,
from the same position, and they just had sex. And
yeah.
Elena's like, for your first time, oh my God.
She is glowing.
She's
She is
glowing.
so happy right there. And then they pan over to
Tracy
Tracy's
is
face.
not.
Tracy looks terrified.
Stunned, terrified. I couldn't really tell, but it is not.
It's
Of
not happy.
of the four people in the last two scenes that have just had sex
Yeah,
separately, two couples, only one of the people looks unhappy about it.
yeah.
And that is Tracy. It's like, I
Yeah,
thought that was
I
a really
mean,
effective way to work the camera on that too, because I think
it
it's sort of like,
definitely, it definitely was. But again, I'm not loving Elena here, right?
mm-hmm,
So she's called religion up multiple times, right? She's, shown that she knows still nothing about it.
mm-hmm,
She then calls it up to call him a hypocrite and a tease and yell at Richard. And then he comes in the door. She's not stopping him this time, like, has sex with him, and then is just like, points out that she just took his virginity
mm-hmm.
and is like, and this is the best thing ever.
Yeah.
I mean, she's so, I don't know, like willfully oblivious, I guess would be the word. It's like so not caring about Tracy
Yeah.
at all. Really bugged
Oh,
really
Elena.
bugged me.
Well, I think that feels like correct writing to me. Like we may not like that Elena's doing it, but I believe it. Um,
Tracy, you can do better.
maybe, maybe.
Definitely.
So, Fish, I don't know if you just did it, but who's the worst? Are you ready for the "You're the Worst" segment?
Ugh, that was a good one.
Ah.
Um, I am, and it was a hard choice,
Mhm.
but James, you're the worst. You really were the worst last week too, but I had some unfinished business with Noel, so you got bumped. Addiction is a disease. Fair. But you know what's not a disease? Dealing, being an abusive control freak. owning a gun, manipulating your partner, and just generally being an asshole. These are not things you get a pass on, and neither is continuing to use while refusing to get help. You are going to end up in jail or in the ground, and you're taking Molly with you. And you know it. You just don't want to be alone. And I don't blame you. I wouldn't want to be stuck with just you either. So you drag Molly back under control, back into using, back into danger. And to add insult to injury, just look at her. Look at what you've done. Look at her hair. James, you are the worst.
Okay.
Yeah.
James, you're the worst.
Let me tell you, Elena was lucky that James was just so terrible. Because otherwise she
I was
was on the
wondering,
chopping block.
yeah, I was wondering if you were going to go the obvious route or the not so obvious route after your rant about Elena, but there we are. There we are. Can't argue with you on that at all. They are not trying to make us argue with you.
No,
They're leaning all the way
really
in.
weren't. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, you know what, Fish? It's time for our favorite segment.
Yay.
After you listen to this tape, you have to erase it.
Have to erase it.
I thought I would bring in a comment from Galena Drooks, treatise on Noel. Feels like time to bring this piece in. Yes. In her section called History of Noel and Felicity Season 3.
That's very nice. I can't wait to read these.
In early Season 3, Noel is dealing with the fallout of partying and completely changing his life and getting back to school. He's also genuinely Felicity's friend, helping Ben plan her birthday, working on the Loser Pet Store project with her, helping her study. There begins to be the undercurrent of his feelings there, but they're subtle, and it's more about the audience getting a window into this than for Felicity to be aware of it.
It's fair.
This is Galena's take on this, fair. And I do feel like I'm certainly seeing that in this episode more overtly than I was in previous episodes.
I think it was definitely there. Like we mentioned it, where Noel basically came in and was like, I want to, like, Ben, you better figure this out because you don't want to lose Felicity like I did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, all of our comments today are about Noel. So the rest are about, we've got a couple more about Noel with Jane.
You want to bring that up again?
I do. Well, okay. So I'll start with the one that you might not agree with. You don't agree with, I think. And then the one that might be more in line with what you're thinking. So at Queen Shalana 75 says, it's lazy writing, unfortunately. They really didn't know what to do with Noel. I'm going to actually pair that before we go to your feedback with one from at insta.mickey, where she says, Noel for me is that insecure and kind of needy guy. I consider some of his actions in the past seasons very indicative of that, and he is awkward. And Jane, he saw as an opportunity to get out of that. He tries to be a better man, but never gets there, in my opinion. I think this is an example of Noel sabotaging himself.
Yeah.
It seems like that storyline, everybody kind of saw a different thing. Maybe.
I guess. I mean, I know that you feel like it was very out of character for him. I certainly gave him a You're the Worst segment, but I've been seeing this behavior from him since season 1. Mm-hmm. And it's all about the insecurity, It's like, you're a senior, you're gorgeous. Like, come on, man. Mm-hmm. I don't know what to tell him.
Yeah. Oh no. No. Well, Fish, we need to rate this episode. I think this will be an
Yeah.
interesting rating. I'm curious. I'm
Well,
curious to know what you thought.
I'm still very confused about Ben.
Okay.
So confused. I need another minute.
Okay. I'll do my rating. So I rated this one in the unit of Mr. Octobers. I felt like he was right there for me.
Just Mr. Octobers, not Mr. Virgin Octobers, Mr.
I wanted to see
I'm
if
a
there was a
virgin
way
and
that I could,
proud.
yeah, virgin and proud of it. I wanted to make that work, but Mr. October's really felt succinct and it just felt right.
Yeah.
So I went there.
Mhm.
Hmm. You know, I think I feel like this is one there where there could be really a wide range here. So I actually went 8.1 out of 10, Mr. October's. I, you know, I think this is a really effective episode. I think that it's messy in terms of people's emotions. It's very, very messy. And in some ways, I liked that more than um, for me, most of what I saw felt like it lined up with things I understand about the characters or that I want to understand about the characters. It advanced a lot of plots at once. Um, and I really enjoyed the chaos of emotion here within the context of a story. It felt heightened and it felt real in many ways for me. And I think it's a solid episode, which you know what? I needed that coming off of a good egg.
Hmm.
Um, I needed I needed to get back to a real story. So I'm glad they put it here. I think this for me is a really memorable episode, and it's like a speeding train heading us into what is going to be a mid-season finale next
Ah,
episode. This is right before the holiday break. So they're trying to get to a point where they're going to come to a head on some storylines here. And yeah, works for me.
I mean, I definitely agree with you in terms of it being very messy, but also effective. And I loved a lot of the camera work.
Mm.
Um, I mean, the biggest problem that I had with this was Ben and just not feeling like I know who he is episode to
Mm-hmm.
episode. But I had to weigh that with all of the gorgeous shirtless men. I mean, that's a big plus.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, as much as I didn't like what Elena was doing, um, I mean, it's certainly, I think, setting something up. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know what, but I'm hoping she doesn't get Tracy pregnant. Um, but yeah, I mean, I love their like little flirtiness and the whole thing about the class, I think, was a little much. Um, loving seeing Meghan and the way she's changing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, I mean, I agree with you. I was going to use the exact same word to say that it's a solid episode. Um, I am going to go, I would go a little higher, but I haven't yet been able to break myself from the point 0.5 ratings. So I'm going to go with a 7.5. I probably would go a little higher, but I'm not willing to go to an 8
Mm-hmm.
on this one. But it's a whole lot better than a 1.
Yeah.
And I would like to say, or I would like to see in future episodes that they do finally learn how to lock a door.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, give it a minute. um,
anyone, learn to lock a door.
yeah, they need another episode to learn a hard lesson around that, I think.
Mm.
So, well, okay,
You
there
are
you have it.
really, you're really winding me up for the next episode.
7.5 out of 10 clubs, 8.1 out of 10 Mr. Octobers. That's your ratings, folks. But what do you think, guys? What do you think, listeners? Um, Tell us, okay?
Who's Ben? Tell me who Ben is. Someone.
I think that might be an interesting thing to explore with feedback from the audience because I really do get the sense that feel like different writers watched different episodes and decided to run with it, you know,
Okay.
of like their history of Ben, maybe. Maybe that explains what's happening here. But Ben's gonna, things are gonna shift for Ben quite a bit here. So, um, all right. So, folks, we want to hear from you. What do you think? What's it all coming together for? Like, who's Ben?
Yeah.
Have you found something good about James? What's going on with
Piercing the
Noel?
wise.
Tell us. Where do you come down on Elena's treatment of Tracy? I don't know. Tell us what you think. You can send your feedback to us at themelissafish@gmail.com. It's Melissa with one L, two S's, themelissafish@gmail.com. And then if you want to be part of the conversation, maybe check out the whole community of people talking about the show, you can find us on Instagram at Felicity Podcast. Also, if you find that you're asking yourself, like, when are they going to drop a new episode? When's that going to happen? You can sign up for our newsletter and we'll tell you. We'll tell you whenever we do it. So you can check your show notes wherever you're listening to this podcast, and there's a link in there to sign up for the newsletter. And while you're there, hey, go ahead and rate and review this podcast because it just helps other fans of the show Felicity to discover this long form Felicity content. Now, Fish, the next episode that I've given you a lot of spoilers for it, so let's see how close you can get to predicting. The next episode is called "And to All a Good Night."
Oh.
What do you think happens in "And to All a Good Night"?
I mean, clearly, Ruby's baby shoots someone once she comes back with it.
Right.
Right.
You did it. I don't know how you predicted it, but you got there.
I mean, that's what I got from what you said.
Yeah.
So no one learns to lock a door. So I'm guessing James just like busts in ninja style to the only apartment that he seems to know, which is Felicity and Molly and everyone else's. And I'm gonna go with Ruby's baby shoots James. I know that's a little bit of a twist. Like you would think it would be maybe Ben or Ben, but I'm gonna go with James getting shot. I don't know why, but I feel like I would just feel better sleeping at night if that was the person who gets shot. And look, Ben has been in the hospital and or put other people in the hospital quite a lot recently. So I feel like he's done his like stay of hospitals.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my prediction.
I like it. I like where you're going with that. That would be really interesting to see. And we will find out what's going to happen next time in "And to All a Good Night." The Christmas episode.
Well, I'm also like, what is going to happen with Tracy and Elena? I mean, that's the real cliffhanger for me.
That's what I think is so cool about their story is how complicated it is. and how look at how much they've mined out of this already,
I
and
mean,
now they just did
goodness.
this, so it's like, what can you get out of that? What kind of mileage can you get out of the story when they've just had this happen? So
I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of regret on Tracy's side,
mm,
and I don't know how Elena's going to react to that.
yeah, well, we will have to see. But anything you want to say that we missed about this episode?
Nope. I think I have said all there is to say. I just need to hear from other people. Someone help me. Who is this Ben person?
Mm-hmm.
Who is
Yeah,
he?
yeah. I think that will get a little bit more straightforward pretty soon, but we'll see.
It would be nice.
Could be wrong about that, but we'll see. Well, I guess that's everything. So until next time, fish, don't hook up with Ben while I'm gone.
I'm a fish.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.